see this is going to be another one of those players that is hugely debated is the Kyrie Irving at 20. Kyrie Irving at
Yeah.
20. The one big question is what this article talks about is Irving intended to contend with playing off the ball so much. This was the role he played in Cleveland, and the results were majestic. The artful curve of LeBron James heater to elite championship dominance. He also grew tired of it and pinned for his own thing quickly, gritting his teeth every team he soared with James. After the James Harden trade, Irving took a step back right up and offered to get back into the square that once irked him. And guess what? When they were actually on the floor together, Irving was majestic. His usage rate went down, and his shooting numbers went up as he joined the 50-40-90 club. Nonetheless, linear thinking won't get you very far with Irving, but dynamic is worth watching him. But the dynamic is worth watching it in Brooklyn. So Tyrese, Kyrie Irving at 20. Like, dislike, what do you think?
Eh, it's that's a tough decision because I mean, I see where they're going, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to see what they have in front of them, honestly, because I mean, it's not a bad ranking. I mean, yeah, they could have ranked him higher, honestly. I'm not saying they should have. I'm just saying I'm surprised they didn't. Like, they fanboy all over Kyrie Irving. Oh, Kyrie, oh, he's a magician. I'm surprised they didn't have him at 12. But I think that's about right for him.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think Kyrie Irving is a really talented player, and I think the article does a really. I know Brian Windhorst does a good job of like really showing that like Kyrie off the ball and not having it so much in his hands is the best thing for the team. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people talked about when the James Harden trade was made is that sweet. Now Kyrie Irving doesn't have to do all the dribble god dribbles, doesn't have to over pound the ball and kind of do different things. He could just kind of be the guy to kind of do dribble moves and get stuff going, and really just be off the ball and be efficient and really
Yeah.
he
That's how he go ahead.
no, I was just going to say he was part of the 50-40-90 club for that reason. Obviously, he only played 54 games, so I think it's hard to assess him when he's only played 54 when they played like 70 something games. But at the same time, when it comes to a guy like Kyrie Irving, you can see that the talent is still there. You can see that everything is still there from Kyrie. The question is now, and it always has been, is will his ego or will his kind of desire to be the dribble guy hamper the ability for the Nets to win a championship because he wants to be the guy in that aspect?
Well, I know I wouldn't say he wants to be the guy, but I think he doesn't like all the attention James and Kevin are probably getting, even though he so-called is Kevin Durant's friend. I think he's used to being that focal point of the team. Now he's just kind of like the third option,
Yeah.
you know. And to go back to what you said, as well as how you said he plays better off the ball. I mean, that's how he pretty much played in Cleveland, right? I mean, that's how they were so successful. They had Kevin Love, they had LeBron, and they had other guys. I mean, he was playing off the ball a lot. Um, I wouldn't say a lot, but he played more off the ball than he did in Boston. Um, but yeah, I mean, he brings a new look to the Nets. They're really hard to guard with James and Kevin, and then you have him as a third option. He can, bring a different look to your offense. So yeah, I mean, 20 is a good spot
Yeah, I
for
mean,
him.
it's just interesting to see like when Kyrie Irving had those injuries, like both and Brooklyn and in Boston, especially Brooklyn the first year where it was a bunch of the young guys like D'Lo and all those young Nets players. Karis LeVert was part of that team too, and he saw that they played a lot better without him. And then once he got into the squad, there was a lot of question marks about like, oh, is this guy really the best fit for us? But again, there's no denying the talent of Kyrie Irving. Um, but I do
Yeah, he can get a bucket.
but I do think he's so much better off the ball, man. And I wish that he would realize that because I think it would be much better for him to understand that, like, dude, you may not be like the guy that dribbles other people open and do these other type of things, but I think he has the ability to really maybe carry a franchise is not the right word, but he can carry a team on his back if he's not the primary ball handler like he usually is. Uh, before James Harden even got there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That he plays way better off the ball, man. Like when he tries to do too much, like how he did with us in Boston, like he gets too inefficient, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
He
if he
definitely
like you
does.
said, yeah, like you said, if he can realize that, that would be, man, they can go really far. They can damn near win it all. But, you know, he's like the he's like the piece to where, you know, he can mess up the whole team, man. You know, they might make a deep run and he'll say, I just don't feel like playing right now, you know,
Yeah.
and throw everything off to where are they going to get that third option from? You know, instead of
Mm-hmm.
a my turn, your turn from James and Kevin. Like eventually that's going to wear out if this does come to fruition how I'm speaking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could. I mean, look at the news that came out. He could reportedly miss Nets home games because he's not vaccinated. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting scenario, especially with these players and what's going on with their vaccination status. The implications. Because I know the NBA hasn't really made it official for like players that they needed to be vaccinated. Like this is only happening because it's New York and California at the moment. So I'll be curious to see what the NBA does because I know that the NBA has not officially mandated that everybody is vaccinated or doesn't have to be
I did
vaccinated compared to I think the NFL.
I did see a stat. I'm not sure if it's true, but I did see a stat that 90% of the NBA was vaccinated of NBA teams.
Yeah,
But you know that number can be inflated because I don't know if they're counting the assistant staff. I don't know if they're counting the guys in the office. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But I doubt it's less than that.
yeah. I mean, we got the Knicks; they're fully vaccinated, so that's what they
Yeah.
need. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't want to turn this into that conversation
Oh
because
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's again it's a very tricky one in terms of the bigger picture conversation with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
It just there's a lot of it. But anyway, again, let us know in the comment section down below. Is Kyrie Irving a top 25 player? Let us know down below.